220,000 Russian soldiers. That's the number being thrown around after Ukraine's summer counteroffensive. Let that sink in. 220,000. It's not just a stat. That's entire towns, entire generations, gone or wounded. And the world, still trying to make sense of what that number really means. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most shocking figures to emerge from the Ukraine war. Claims that over 220,000 Russian troops have been killed since the start of Ukraine's push this summer. It's a staggering number. But is it accurate? Where does it come from? And what does it say about the state of this brutal, grinding war? Let's start with the context. The summer offensive wasn't just another phase in the war, it was Ukraine's big push. After months of buildup, Western, supplied tanks, long-range missiles, and tens of thousands of trained troops, Ukraine launched a multi-front attack aimed at breaking through Russian lines, especially in the east and south. But Russia had been preparing too. Layers of trenches, minefields, artillery zones. It wasn't a cakewalk. Ukraine made gains, yes, but progress was slow, costly, and that's where the numbers come in. So where does this 220,000 figure originate? It's mostly being cited by Ukrainian officials and picked up by Western intelligence reports. They say that since the beginning of the full-scale invasion in 2022, total Russian casualties, killed and wounded, have crossed 500,000. And during the summer offensive alone, over 220,000 were reportedly killed or seriously wounded. Now, to be clear, these are estimates. Russia rarely publishes its own losses, and when it does, the numbers are suspiciously low. The fog of war makes it hard to confirm anything, but even conservative estimates from independent sources suggest massive losses. We're talking about entire brigades wiped out, waves of poorly trained conscripts thrown into battle, and a Russian strategy that seems to accept high casualties as the price of holding ground. And that's what makes this so tragic. So human, because behind that number 220,000 are real people. Young men pulled from villages across Russia, some barely trained, many not even understanding why they're fighting. You've seen the videos, men with rusted rifles, some even sharing helmets, being told to run straight into artillery zones. It's a brutal tactic. Russia's meat wave approach, overwhelming Ukrainian lines with sheer numbers, even if it means sacrificing thousands in the process. And Ukraine, they've had to hold the line, often losing soldiers themselves, but managing to grind down Russia's offensive edge. It's important to understand the scale here. 220,000 is more than the total number of U.S. troops deployed during the Iraq War at its peak. It's almost double the casualties the Soviet Union took during its 10-year war in Afghanistan. We're talking about a loss that could affect Russia's military for a generation. But here's the kicker. Despite these losses, Russia keeps pushing. The Kremlin continues to draft more men. Propaganda is in full swing, and Putin still betting that the West will lose patience before he does. This raises a tough question. Can Russia sustain these losses? Some analysts think no. They say the Russian military is hollowing out, experienced officers are gone, morale is collapsing, equipment is outdated. Others argue that Russia's sheer size and its willingness to throw bodies at the problem gives it staying power. Meanwhile, Ukraine is fighting with incredible resilience, but also under immense pressure. Every village taken is a hard-won victory. Every tank destroyed is a small win in a much larger, bloody chess game, and they're doing it under the world's watchful eye. Everyone measuring their success, debating whether support should continue. But here's the thing, no matter what side of the political fence you're on, No matter how you feel about NATO or geopolitics, one fact remains: this is a humanitarian catastrophe. 220,000 dead or wounded isn't just a headline. It's mothers who will never see their sons again, wives waiting for calls that won't come, children growing up without fathers. And for what? That's the question that haunts this war. The Kremlin talks about denazification, about protecting Russian speakers, about standing up to the West. But to the average Russian soldier on the front line, none of that matters when you're knee-deep in mud, dodging drones, and wondering why your commanding officer disappeared 3 weeks ago. As for the Ukrainian side, they're not just fighting for territory. They're fighting for survival, for their identity, for the right to exist without a foreign power dictating their future. So, where does it all go from here? Well, the war isn't slowing down. Winter is coming, and with it a new phase. More drone strikes, more trench warfare, more suffering. But if these casualty numbers are even close to accurate, it signals something huge. Russia's strategy is bleeding them dry, slowly, painfully, and possibly irreversibly. And the world, it has a role to play. Not just in sending weapons or money, but in staying informed, staying aware, and not letting this war become background noise. Because when you hear 220,000 Russian soldiers dead or wounded, it should shock you, it should move you, and it should make us all ask, how many more? If this video helped you understand what's really going on behind the headlines, hit that like button. Subscribe for more clear, no-nonsense breakdowns of what the mainstream media won't always explain. And drop a comment below. Do you believe these numbers? What's your take on Russia's strategy, and where do you think this war is heading? Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay human.